Good day, everyone. This is Wealth. So let's have a trade recap for last week price action, and you know take corrections and lessons of mistakes we made, or I made rather, on the trades I took last week. So let's head down to the chart. I'll try as much as possible to make this video short than the previous one I did last week. Yes, because I think the video being too long is not necessary. So let's just get down to the chart. So this week I've been, the last week was kind of a bit rough. Excuse me. Last week was kind of a bit rough. Price action, there are a lot of, let you get down to the chart, but it's not good. So from USJPY, let's start from the daily time frame. Higher time frame gives an overview of everything we need. So from the daily time frame, we can clearly see that price is bullish. Price is bullish. You can clearly see that. So last week video I made, we discussed about price getting from this 4 hours order block around here. So now this week, after price reacted from this order block going bullish, this trade is all about logic. It's all about being logical and applying what you already know in the charts. So seeing this movement, or seeing how price was reacting, you will clearly see price was creating. You can start from here. This was a high and this was a low. This was a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. This was the last higher high, and it was the last break of structure to this high, and this was a low, the last low. So this particular low couldn't break this high. So what did it do instead? It swept the previous low, the last low. So this particular low couldn't break this high. Instead, it broke the previous low. So I noted this last week before when this move was going. I noted this last week. This week, sorry. Last week rather. Last week. So I knew that price can likely reverse from this zone, from this low. I didn't mark the other block because there would definitely be a breaker block around this zone on a smaller time frame. So I marked that zone because I knew price would or might react from there. So skip. I don't want the video to be long, please pardon me. So, and actually price respected what we did. So when price got to that, let's can see there's a breaker block here. Definitely there will be a breaker block after every high or low price breaks through. You understand? So when price got to this zone, it tapped us in and started selling to the downside, or started forming a downtrend. Now, how do you know that the downtrend is taking place, or how do you know that price is about selling? Price is creating series of higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, then the last low. So I can start from here. You just applying the same thing over and over again. You have to be logical about it. You understand? So this is a high, this is a low, this is a higher high, and this a higher low. Now this higher high tapped into our breaker block, or our point of interest, our higher time frame point of interest. Then it should just create, if it wanted to continue the uptrend, it would have just created a higher low that wouldn't break below this low. You understand? That wouldn't break below this low. But sometimes some breaks can be that price is using this low as an inducement for this point of interest. You understand? But in this scenario, price gave us, we're expecting price to sell. That's the reason why. You understand? Because there's a higher time frame POI that we already have marked out. So when price broke below this low, I notified this as my market structure shift. So this is a further confirmation that yes, price is about to sell. You understand? So I notified this as my market structure shift when price broke below this low. Then what I was just waiting for was I was waiting for a minor pullback, which is our inducement that will break structure, then take my trade from the nearest point of interest. Let me delete this. So when price did exactly that, let's go to the lower time frame. Let's go more lower, because I saw that move, lower. Sorry, no, I'll get a bigger screen soon enough. So good. Now this was the low, price broke below. Let me delete this, please. I will also explain this particular trade, though I was just using it to check things out. That's just how it should be. You should just use the market to test out things, check out things, know if they can work or not. But that already have given me a lesson that such thing will not work next time. So now when price broke below this low, giving us our MSS, it gave us this pullback here. It gave us this pullback here. You can see the pullback, but I did not recognize this pullback as our inducement. Instead, I recognized this our inducement because this was a pullback before a break of structure or market structure shift. So remember the type B setup and the type A setup. Type A setup pullback after a break of structure, while type B setup pullback before a break of structure. So this pullback happened before market gave us our break of structure, market structure shift. Now also, why I use this zone as my inducement was this was the major low on the higher time frame, but in the lower time frame you can see the mini higher lows, higher high, the mini trend. You understand? So when price broke below the last low in this lower time frame, it gave us this pullback. This was the last low and this was the pullback. So that's why I notified this as my inducement. So the nearest POI would have been this breaker block, but it's already mitigated, so I took this other block here. So I was waiting for price to tap me, but unfortunately price gave us a missed entry. This week about the very bad, like it was very bad. All my trades were missed entries, as you can see. So let's not waste much time on this. So after we go to our market structure shift, which is our reversal trade, we'll start looking for continuation. Now remember, we will trade till the nearest or to the next key level or point of interest, higher time frame point of interest. So if you get any other block, breakup block on the higher time frame that is below where you're heading to, or that is below your target, just know that your TP levels should be there because price can react from those zones. So this was the zone I already marked as from the higher time frame that price will react to. As you can see, price got to this zone. I started dancing around since I just left price. I didn't even touch price since I just left it. I left the market and let it do its thing. Price started dancing around here since after I got to this my zone. So imagine my TP level was below this zone. Price would have held me back here and I will still be waiting to hit TP. So let's finish up. After price left us, it created another structure. Now what structure is that? This was the structure. This was a double break of structure. How price broke below this low. This is a low, and price also broke below this low. And after the breaking, it gave us a pullback, which is an inducement, and we'll take our trade from the nearest the PO nearest liquidity. So I scaled down to the 30 minutes time frame, and this was how I got my entry from 30 minutes time frame. 15 minutes time frame was also good, but I just prefer that 30 minutes time frame. I don't know why. I always prefer 30 minutes time frame. So if I had chosen this time frame, I would have got this one, but that's it. Price still left us. You understand? Price still left us. But also, why I missed this trade was because I didn't have a wider screen. If you check here, excuse me. If you check this zone, there is a breaker block here. You can see there's a breaker block here. So when I was studying when I found this out, there was a breaker block here, because this is another block that caused this zone is another block that caused this break of structure here. So when price broke past this other block, which should have held for a buy, it becomes a breaker block. Easy explanation, we all know that. So that was the breaker price used to move. So I didn't catch it because I didn't have a wide screen. So this is why big screens are always important. They are always important for the chart, because it gives you a larger overview of everything. So let's just continue. And also, USJPY, I love UJ because UJ prints a clean price action. Yes, clean structure, clean moves. You understand it better. So I will always recommend beginners to trade USJPY, because it gives these clean structures whenever it's making this move. So now back down to this, price created a new structure here. Price broke above this low, below this low and below this low, giving us a double breaker structure. How will I know that price will not return? Because price have already mitigated our breaker block, making this move. So definitely is making this move to clear out the nearest draw on liquidity, which is this draw on liquidity. But in the process of doing that, it gave us a double breaker structure. So I know that the next thing the price will do is to give us our pullback, and then we'll not choose the PONS liquidity. So price gave us our pullback, which was this pullback here, and price gave us a clean pullback. This is structural liquidity, which is which has more probability or high probability than single candle inducement. So I chose my I took my trade from this breaker block here. So price still left us sad. So this week was just a missed, we're just missing trades this week. So that was that. I wouldn't waste much time. So going to let's go to BTC. Yes, BTC. BTC this week was funny. God help your children. So without wasting much of our time, price reacted from this zone. Let's go to the 2 hour 5 time frame. I think price reacted from a zone in 2 hours time frame. Okay, 1 day time frame. I think yes, price reacted from this zone on the 1 day time frame, because this was a downtrend. As you can see, price was trending down, and this was the last break of structure to the downside, which gave us this high that didn't break structure below. So when price broke above this high, it was a market structure shift, and price printed our market structure shift. Price still broke above this zone that gave us an MSS, gave us this inducement here, and this was the other block. So sorry for my screen. Okay, let me try to so this is it. I don't know if I can see it clearly. So this is it. Price gave us, because there was already a sweep of liquidity, so that's just it. And price created from this other block here. So we're using this as our inducement liquidity for this move. So when price got to that zone, we're looking for confirmation interest. Now I'll show you what impatience can actually do in the market. Now we all know that BTC have been in some kind of sloppy move for a long while now. Yes, it has been selling, and while selling, it creates a lot of liquidity and traps in the market. It was creating a lot of liquidity and traps in the market. So when price headed there, I was trying to spot out my market structure shift. So I found this. I went down to the smaller time frame. Don't know if my screen can go that back. Okay, it can. So I found this. This was the last break of structure to the downside, and price broke above it, giving us our inducement. But price did not come back to that pause end because this was the zone I wanted to buy from. So price continued buying. Okay, that's fine. So I also spotted this out. Price broke above this high, and also this high. Sorry, this little high here. Then gave us our inducement. I wanted to buy from here, but price. Okay, yes, price actually tapped us in, but I didn't take the trade because I wanted more SL confirmations. So I said, okay, let me look for confirmation entry on this trade. So the confirmation entry was price breaking above this high. Then it gives our inducement, and I wanted to take my trade from this other breaker block, but price had other plans. We missed it. I thought it was a missed entry. Yes, which it was. So I think that price was just buying to clear out this drawn liquidity, this liquidity here. As soon as it's cleared it, because I also found another entry here. Double break of structure, inducement, that break structure, and the nearest POI to inducement. So after price cleared this drawn liquidity here, it started selling. So it made me hit SL on these two trades. I took losses on these two trades. And when it started selling, I got a sell entry, but still price did its thing. Now how did I do that? This our inducement candle now becomes a major low that caused the last break of structure. Now this was the last low that didn't break structure, created this low, but this low did not break below the previous low. You understand? So that means that was how I know that this low was a major low, like more of like a protected low. So but when price broke through it, then I knew that our market structure shift have occurred. So it gave us, after that, price printed our inducement, our single candle inducement, and I took my trade from the nearest POI, and still price took me out. That's 3 losses right now. So I also spotted this trade over here. Price not at me in, price moved. But some people actually got the trade from this zone on X. And some people getting the trade from this zone, this particular breaker block here. But you have to extend your SL. Those are these big SLs, but I don't really. My SL depends on my candle size. That's just it. So without further ado, I didn't even know where price was reacting from, to be honest with you. But I knew that price have changed structure. We are still on the sells, but I knew that price have changed structure. So, but when I came back from church today, I found that price was actually reacting from this other block right here, from this other block. So I knew that okay, price would buy a little or more than that. So I waited for price to break above this low. This lower high here, or this high here, because this was the last high that caused a break of structure to the downside. So I just patiently waited for price to break above it. When price broke above it, it gave us our inducement candle, and I took my trade from the POI nearest to inducement, targeting the next drawn liquidity, because BTC is choppy now. You can place a high target and you just take you out. So I'm actually targeting this place for BTC to continue to sell, but I don't think BTC will get there. But let's just see. Let's see. So this is my trade for BTC now. So the next one we'll look at is the Euro JPY. Let me check. Did I have anything on Euro JPY? Like I have something. Same mist. Remember last week we were buying UJ from this zone. we bought TJ from this zone to this zone, and we hit TP last week. So the trade took us a week and 2 days. So I waited for my market structure shift. Now how did I get it? So when you got to that our higher time frame zone or key level or whatever, I went down to the lower time frame, and I thought that this was the last low. Probably getting series of higher lows, higher low, just making little trends. And when price got to this place, price closed. That's how you should know how to read candle close and opening, so I can know lows and highs. Now, openings of a bullish candle. This was the last closing of the bearish candle. So when it closed here, so it opened here, got to this low, got to this high, and now closed here. So for the bearish move, it now opened here, got to this high, got to this low, and now closed here. Do you understand? So that I knew that this was the last low that price created. This was the last low that price created. So I just patiently waited for price to break below this low. I patiently waited for price to break below this low, and when it did, it gave us our structural inducement. But before that, it also printed our single candle inducement, but this single candle inducement came before the market structure shift, so it's still valid. But the POI, the both are targeting for one POI, which is this order block. But actually, price had other plans. He didn't tap me in. As you can see, this week was just messed up, filled with a lot of missed entries. You understand? I will explain better on this candle opening and closing next time. I promise I will do a video within this week. So that's for that. Then continuation, price gave us the double break structure. It broke below this low and this major low, and gave us our pullback, which is our inducement. Then we took our trade from this breaker block, but still price did a stain. And where I was targeting, price got there. All my zones, price got to that place, but I didn't catch any trade. Like, it was so painful. I was actually targeting this zone because this was the nearest round liquidity, but price pushed through it though. As you can see, I took a loss on the buy here because when price got to this zone, I was impatient. I would have waited for price to break above this high for me to continue the buys, but it's all good. So that's it. I wouldn't do more of trade recaps because I don't want the video to be long. As I said, same thing with GBP/JPY. Price gave me a missed entry. Remember last week we traded GJ from this zone, I think, to this zone. So I got a setup, but price still left me. I got a setup, but price, still left me. As you can see, price broke below this low. When after price was buying from this zone we got last week. If you just watch my previous video, you understand. So price broke below this low, giving us an MSS, and it gave us our structural liquidity. I waited patiently for this liquidity, but so now what I did not actually notice on time was this. When price broke below this low, giving us our market structure shift, this already, this is why I missed GJ trade. This already was our inducement because it was the first pullback. And what did price do? Price came back for this POI because it was not mitigated yet. Price came back for this POI, but the thing is just this. Even if I took this trade, I would have gotten an SL. Why? Because I will definitely put my stop loss somewhere here. Definitely just a little bit above this candle or on top of it. I wouldn't go beyond that. So I will have still lost this trade. Let's go to 45 minutes to see if you can see any good interest. It's all the same. I would have still lost this trade. The trade. So I thought this when I was studying, and that was how I knew my mistakes. God. That was how I knew my mistakes. But still, you move. And I've lost this trade. I just kept this thing here, my stop loss, or a little bit above it. So that's how I missed GJ. I was actually waiting for this zone up here, because when price created this zone with the breaker block, it's sold, came back. Remember what I taught you about price using the breaker block as your point of interest, then also coming back to use the breaker block as an inducement for the other block. So price didn't actually get to this zone and it sold. That was how we missed GJ. Price hardly created another structure while selling. It just sold all through. So this week was just, what it is. So we pray for a better week this week. And also this week I'll make a longer video on this. I'll look for a way to make a longer video, longer and sustainable video. These ones I'm making, they're just too short and no widescreen, so just pardon with me. But anyways, see you on the next one.